Noodles. Welcome to TT's Urban Pantry. I am going to be canning live some green beans. I feel like green beans are probably the best thing that you can if you are a new canner or if you are a new pressure canner. I know there are some people that can, water bath can all year round, but they're just a little bit intimidated by pressure canning. So green beans is a great introductory if anyone out there has never canned green beans. Hi, KK. I find that's probably one of my favorite things to pressure can because it's so easy. That and corn is my favorite thing to pressure can. It's so easy with green beans. I'll put on a movie and sit there on the couch and just snap them. And when they're done, just give them a good rinse and off. I rinse mine off really, really good. But yeah, if you are, hi, Angela. It's Angela, right? I need to write that down. Are these dilly beans? No, ma'am. These are green beans. They will be pressure canned. Dilly beans are more of a pickled green beans, and I've made those before. We didn't like them too much, so we probably still have a couple of jars down in the pantry. But yes, Angela, woohoo. Carrots were my first. I agree, very simple. I think carrots were my second because we had, I remember I was home from work one day and I was like, let me can these green beans. And I did. I was like, they're so easy. So we had carrots at the house. So then I did carrots, but we don't eat that many carrots. And then I canned corn, which is so easy. I would recommend, though, I've tried canning the frozen green beans and the texture is just, they're mushy. So this is really easy. I have my green beans snapped and washed. Joanne hates carrots, y'all. Everybody say, hi, mommy. That's my mom. The green beans I got from the Amish place. I feel like they have the best green beans in town. If I can help it, I won't get them at the store anymore. So I don't know how many pounds I have. I just started grabbing. But they're all snapped up and ready to go. But I just want to tell you what else I have. So back there on the stove, I have my pressure can ready, my pressure canner ready to go with the jars in there. They're all heated up. I have the water in there according to the manufacturers. If you're not sure how much water to add to your pressure canner, check your instruction manual. And if you can't find your instruction manual, just look online, go to the manufacturer's website. But I've got the water all ready to go in there. Beside the big canner, I have a pot of just hot water. It was boiling and I turned it down. That's just a pot of hot water because these green beans will be will be cold packed. So there's two ways you can can green beans, corn, carrots. You can heat those up along with the water. I'm not a canned vegetable person. I like them with a crunch. I agree, but I love green beans. But I like them as a last minute add-in. I feel like with the green beans, we were always making them for holidays and there was always so much to do. You don't have time to sit there and snap the green beans. So the convenience of just going down in the basement and grabbing some jars of green beans and doctoring them up the way I want to, rather do that than just snap. So I have my jars there. They're heated up, ready to go. I have my water for cold packing. Sorry, I keep saying that. And I also have my lids, my rings. I have a little salt to add to the bottom of each jar. Yes, convenience. Absolutely right. You've got little ones too, KK. I know your time is really precious, so thank you for joining. All right, so I'm going to get started back there. I'm just going to show you what I do. So here are the green beans. Looking good. I always like to have a pint jar on reserve just in case I have some that aren't going to fill up a quart. But I prefer to can these in quarts. I'm going to start small. All right, so I have 3 quarts there and 1 pint. And I'm going to wash my hands real quick. And all you have to do is fill these up. With these, you'll give them 1-inch headspace. So fill them up as much as we can, and then I'll start to push them down because there is a lot of room available. You see my phone just went out. All right. Okay, so to jar number 2, fill 1 more up, and then we'll start to push down and see how much more space we have available. See, got a lot more space in there. So push them down. Don't use anything metal because you don't want to scratch the inside of your jar. But if you got like a rubber spatula, even a wooden one would work. And before I forget, I'm going to put a little bit of all right, it's not working. Okay, so I'm signing back in. I got off of Wi-Fi. We just switched our Wi-Fi plan and they sent out a new router. So it's been a little janky until the new router arrives tomorrow. So we'll try it that way. Yep. I'm gonna put a little salt. This is completely optional. I don't feel like you can taste this salt in here. If anything, it just helps keep the color vibrant and a little crispy. Keeps your green beans a little bit crispy. So do that. And I'm going to top all of these off. And push it down because you will be surprised once you take it out the canner how much it will float to the top. So it may seem like I'm forcing it, but there is plenty of room in these jars. All right, so now I'm going to add some water to each one. And there's my pot of water, just plain, nothing in it. Let's pour that over the top. And that salt that you put over the top is just going to now fall in. The water is going to help dilute it, so you don't have to worry about there being like a patch of salt when you open up your jars. Now I'm going to debubble, try to get those air bubbles out. And I still have a couple more green beans, so I will try to fill this up all the way. Okay. And that's it. That's all the green beans. And I will top off with water to 1 inch headspace. That one's good, good, and good. Now wipe the jars. Even though we're just using water, we also put salt on it. I had my fingers on it. And you just want to make sure that when you put your lids down, that is as clean as possible. No food debris, no oils or anything on there. That way you'll have a nice tight seal. Okay. Ta-da! Now we'll get them in the canner. First, I'll take these out. I'm just going to leave them here since they're clean and sterilized. I'm not going to mix them in with the rest of my dishes. These in. And I've just had this on a simmer, so I'm going to turn it for 8 for me. Put my lid on. If I can find, there it is. I'm going to match up the little arrows. Done. Wasn't that easy? Yes, you can do that. That was so easy. Now we just wait for the pressure canner to come up, but you got it. Let's catch up on the chats. The ice cream parlor. That's so sweet. Can you put potatoes with the beans? Can't remember how much time for the potatoes. You can, and I was actually going to say that. You can put potatoes with the green beans. You're just going to can to whichever one takes longer, which I believe is the potatoes. I got it marked right here in my own notes. So for straight green beans, a pint is 20 minutes and a quart is 25 minutes. And if you are canning them with potatoes, a pint is 35 minutes and a quart is 40. Not that big of a difference between the two. So throw some potatoes in there. Looks so good. Where are those? Looks so good. Where those pints or quarts? They were quarts. Okay, I understand the concept. Just hot water with green beans and a pinch of salt. No cooking, just blanching and preserving your green beans. And I've tried adding seasonings to the water, like garlic, straight garlic, nothing from the store really, but like garlic powder or like the Cajun seasoning or something. But I feel like they don't stick. I feel like when you open up your jar, you're not tasting that seasoning anyway. So don't even bother trying to season it in the jar. Just season it when it comes out the jar. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to drain that water off anyways and cook it up the way I want to. So there's 2 methods. You have raw pack and hot pack. What I just did was a raw pack. I didn't pre-cook the green beans. I just added hot water to hot jars. With the hot pack, I would have taken those green beans and I would have boiled them in the water for a specific amount of time. I don't know off the top of my head, but I would have boiled those green beans in the water and then I would have filled those hot green beans into the hot jars and used that hot water. Doing it that way actually allows for you to have more green beans because now their texture, they're not as hard. They've cooked down a little bit, so you can actually get more green beans in your jar. But I feel like it's a lot of prep just to stuff the jar, just to cook it in the canner. So that's what I do. I don't mind having, there will be a little bit of floatage, but I don't mind it. Hey, Donnie, how are you? I can do that. Tia, which is easier, the stove pressure cooker or the electric pressure cooker? If I'm just cooking, I have only electric pressure cookers. Hi, Coach. I have only electric pressure cookers. I've tried the stovetop pressure cookers when I first got married, but the seal kept slipping on it. And I got scared. So I only got electric pressure cookers. Now, if you're canning, I've never used an electric pressure canner. I know they're out there. I believe Ann and Dell has one. And I think Lydia, Bessie at Journey, has one. I know they have something electric and it's not a water bath, so it has to be a pressure canner. We'll have to ask them if either one of them pop into the chat which one they prefer. Everybody's saying hi. So you know my canner's back there spitting water, so I'm gonna go wipe it off. Return it. That's just what mine does. Could be I've used it so much, I've had it so long that it just spits water. Still works fine. I'm not afraid that it's broken or it's not going to work or anything. I feel like it works great. It just spits water and I just wipe it off. Hi, Michael. Hey, from Northeast Tex. Welcome. My husband has some family down in Texas. That pot is rocking. You got that right. I am going to go grab a jar of some green beans that I can, so you can see what they look like after the fact. Sorry about that. If I hadn't been thinking, I would have had a jar up here in advance. You can see the little nipple thingy has popped up on the canner. Now we are just waiting for a steady stream. Not quite, still a little wonky, but I am going to turn it down. So here are some green beans that I canned August 1st of 2020. So almost 2 years ago. Silly question, can you can in broth? You can. However, because broth is a meat product, you have to change the time, the amount of time that you're canning it for to that meat product. So green beans by themselves, what I say, 25 minutes for a quart. If you're putting in potatoes, it's going to be 40 minutes for a quart. If you are putting in broth, I believe it's 90 minutes for a quart. Is it 90? Let's see. I got my book. I got all my books right here. And I will be touching on that. So I'm canning every day this week. And on Friday, I am canning some chicken soup. And I'll talk about combination recipes, how you can change some of your recipes. But when you're doing that, it's called a combination recipe. You need to, number one, make sure that it is something that can be canned. And two, make sure that you are canning to the highest amount of time for that to be canned. So like, let's say I was canning the green beans in broth with potatoes. I can't do the potatoes. So, well, the chunks of potatoes are pretty big. So let's, it would need to be to whichever one has the longest amount of time, which is the broth, which is 90 minutes. They look awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Would that make them soggy when you take them out later? 90 minutes seems like a lot for cooking. I've never did them that amount of time with straight green beans. I've done it with my vegetable soup, which has tomato broth, corn, carrots, green beans, peas, mushrooms, all the good stuff. And when I'm doing that, it's either between the mushrooms or the corn. If I'm putting corn in it, I have to can to the corn, which I believe is 85 minutes. And if I put mushrooms in, I have to can to whichever one is longer. Now with that 85 minutes, I've never felt like anything came out mushy. I have canned green beans that were frozen first, and those were mushy. I will not do that again. They will be fresh green beans that I have to snap from the store. No more cheats and doing it that way. Now corn. And actually, I don't see any silk in here. And I'm not that good of a cleaner. So I feel like this corn was from frozen. The frozen corn, canning the frozen corn, it didn't come out mushy. It felt just like it was straight off the cob, the ear. So I would can frozen corn again, not straight green beans. Okay, so can't really see it very well, but that has been on the steady stream for about a minute. So we'll wait another 9 minutes and then put the weight on. And I actually don't have any lights on in the kitchen today. You probably just can't see it that well, but I can. Open the microwave. Y'all got to be reminding me about that microwave. That's my hack to keep the steam from the canner out of the circuit. The chip on the microwave is to open it. Like, here it is, my vegetable soup. So if I'm canning straight vegetable soup, and this recipe says with peppers, tomatoes, that's a stock. I'm like, wait a minute. So vegetable soup with tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, lima beans. I don't use lima beans. I use the green beans. And this says fresh or frozen corn kernels. A quart is 85 minutes and a pint is 55 minutes. And I believe that's because of the corn. Corn, mushrooms, and greens. Leafy greens take a little longer to process. All right. So does anybody have any questions while we are waiting for that to finish venting and to bring that canner up to speed? I'm just writing this down so I don't remember when I need to put the weight on. Thank you, Tia. I can build up enough courage to do pickled peppers. However, I'm trying to figure out how to get the fear out of pressure canning. Don't be afraid. There's really nothing to it. The pressure canner has a built-in fail-safe. For mine, it's the little black knob on the top. If it gets up to pressure and it can't release fast enough, that plastic knob will pop out and all of that steam will come out. The old days of having a canner explode are over. It's got a fail safe. And then as long as you're following your canner recommendations, so mine is a Presto, and We just got it at Walmart for like $65 years ago, and you can see how well it's been used. That pressure canner has been through it. But as long as you're following the recommendations, because each canner will tell you to put a certain amount of water in there. So that's why you need to follow that recommendation. I think for a beginner, maybe a weight as opposed to a dial gauge would be a little bit better. Just because with the weight, bam, one and done, you're good. With the dial gauge, you do have to sit there and make sure it stays in between whatever number you need it to be for whatever you're canning. With me, it's just the weight, so I just throw it on top of there. And as long as I can hear it rocking, I'm good. Hi, Jersey Dolphin. I have none, but I want to thank you for hosting the stream when and if decided to drive. I'm crazy. Yes. Hi, G Mama. Come on in, everybody. Welcome. So I've got some green beans in the canner. Got about another 5 minutes before we'll put the weight on there. But as I was saying, I feel like a weighted canner versus a dial gauge might be a little bit better for a beginner. However, I am biased. I've only ever used the weighted canner, except for when we were at our class and everything that I took a couple months ago. And actually, I finished my test, you guys, and she emailed me this morning. She said she received the test and she will have my results to me by the end of the week. So fingers crossed, I passed, and then I will be a certified master home food preserver. Tia, what is a weight? I'll show you. And what is the purpose? So here's my weight. This goes on the canner. This by itself is 5 pounds of pressure. And then I have this doohickey, which is 5 pounds. So with it on there, that gives me 10 pounds of pressure. For my altitude, my sea level where I am, I'm under 1,000. Yes, I'm under 1,000 feet. So 10 pounds of pressure is what I need to put on my pressure canner. This weight or the dial gauge, which adds the weight, you just got to do it like that. But this weight is the only way that you can bring boiling water up over 212 degrees in your home to make it safe for you to can those low acid foods. So what's a low acid food? Veggies. This is why you cannot water bath can veggies, because no matter how long that canner is going, it's only going to get up to 212 degrees. That does not kill the botulism. Botulism spores love that low acid environment. They're waiting for you to mess up. So don't mess up. Follow your manufacturer's guarantee or your manufacturer's instructions on filling your pressure canner. Follow approved recipes and pressure can your veggies. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, you need a weight. So with pressure canning, you need to know where you are. Hi, Lisa. Welcome from Greensboro. With pressure canning, you do need to know your altitude. That's just a quick Google search. If you're a gardener, you searched your zone. Just search your altitude. It's going to tell you where you are on sea level. And then you'll go from there. And a lot of the books will tell you. So see if I can find one. So I'm looking at this vegetable soup recipe. It says, place jars in pressure canner, adjust water level, lock lid, and bring water to a boil over medium heat. Vent steam for 10 minutes, then close vent. continue heating to achieve 10 pounds of pressure. So it tells you 10 pounds is usually the standard. However, if you live in Colorado, you're going to need more pressure on yours. So that's just something that you would keep in mind. So, naturally, I'm going to go put this on. And it just goes on like there like that. So the purpose of letting it vent for 10 minutes is to get any extra air out of there. Now that I put that on top, it's going to build up pressure, and then you'll hear it. I can't describe it. It's just kind of got a little jiggle, little shake to it, and you'll hear it. And that's when we'll start our timer for, what'd I say? 25 minutes. Write that down. 25 minutes for a pint of straight green, or a quart of straight green beans. Thank you, G Mama, who says congrats on being certified. 40 with potatoes. Yes, ma'am, 40 with potatoes. I don't have any potatoes in mine. I actually have some baby reds on the counter, and if I hadn't been thinking, I would have thrown those potatoes in there because they are good with it. So tomorrow I am doing some pickles. And I think I'm doing the bread and butter pickles, and then I'm going to do a quick sweet pickle. That's what it calls. Girl, you have already mastered canner. Thank you. That just gives me a little street cred, waiting on my piece of paper to come. But tomorrow I'm doing bread and butter pickles, and I am doing the quick sweet pickles. And the quick behind it basically is it's not going to take 6 months to get from your cucumber to your pickle. It's just going to be a quick, I believe, 2-week process. And on Wednesday, I'm doing corn, and I've done it before where I cut up a little bit of red pepper and put in with the corn, so I might do that. On Thursday, I'm doing marmalade. I'm doing a peach marmalade. On Friday, I'm doing a chicken soup. And then Saturday, I will be canning beans. And I have the videos and everything ready to go for those. So if you want to check those videos, in all of the descriptions is the link to the recipe that I'm using. So if you want to can along with me, you can check out those recipes and grab what you need to can so we can can together. Coach says, just wanted to let you know you have the nicest smiles I've ever seen when you, oh, thanks, Coach. I don't even got any makeup on today. Can you water bath canned pickles? Yes, you can. Why can we water bath pickles? Because you see it. You see it shaking. Can you hear it? And start our timer. Hi, Shine Moss Farm. But yes, you can water bath canned pickles. The cucumbers are low acid, but the way we're getting around that is we're making a brine with vinegar, which raises that acid. So a lot of vegetables that you can't water bath can, if they're straight, you can water bath can pickled corn or dilly beans, which is pickled green beans. You can water bath can those. All right, so just want to make sure I write down what time it is. Okay. I had to talk it out with myself. But yeah, you can do that. And we're going to do that. Tomorrow I'm doing pickles, and that will be water bath cans. So I'll have my water bath canner all ready to go, and I'll create the brine with you, and I'll show you how I do that. Now with the pickles, I will be cleaning the cucumbers tonight and getting doing the prep work ready and actually soaking them in a bath of salt and ice. That's going to help keep them crisp. So if you can, the video for that is up. The thumbnail, hit the notification icon on it, and check out the link in there. It's going to show you how to prep those pickles, but I'll be doing them tomorrow. How long have you been canning? And if you don't mind, did you take a class or a family member taught you? Are so talented and smart. Thank you. I have been canning. We moved in this house in 2016, and I believe that following year I started canning. So since 2017, and I am 100% self-taught. And it was all through trial and error. The very first time I tried to can, it was because I had an electric canner. And on the electric canner, it had a canner setting. It had a button for canner. And I thought, oh, I can can in that. And then I had a good friend. She gave me her spaghetti sauce recipe. And I was like, I'm canning this because it's good. And I don't want to keep making it every time I want spaghetti sauce. I had no idea what I was doing. I kept going back to the store because as I'm reading about it, I'm finding out you need citric acid and you need these utensils and you need this and you need that. And I couldn't use the canner that I originally thought I can. So it was like a quick process, but I got that spaghetti sauce canned right. But then that just kind of was like, what else can I do? So I did a lot of that. I think I just kind of did a lot of water bath canning. Like I said, trial and error. Some things were so wrong. Luckily, I was always able to catch it. Like they never sat on the counter and we went and picked it up a month later. I was always able to catch it like right then and there. And then I took a class, and it was more just watching her pre-recorded videos. It was only like $100, but it was just her pre-recorded videos, and it was only 5 videos. And she never made more videos. She didn't do anything didn't do anything but what she had already did. But it was enough for me to get the basics in food safety. And then this past June, I took a class at the Purdue University Extension office, and I highly recommend it for anybody. If they are offering it for you locally, please take it. But the name of that class was something. Mastering Home Food Preservation. And it touched on water bath canning, pressure canning, dehydrating, pickling, fermenting, and freezing. And I just love that class. So check it out. But I'm here if anybody has any questions, because I don't want anyone to, sometimes it can be a big investment if you're getting started canning, or especially if you're doing something, you're doing a large, load, or getting a whole bunch of corn from your garden. You want to make sure you're doing it correctly. So I'm here if anybody has any questions. I like talking about canning if you don't know. I'm going to do it with you, so I'll go back and find the recipe. Yes, please look for the recipe. It's going to be pickles 2 ways, so if you don't want to do them both, you can just pick one to do, whatever's easiest for you. I just have a lot of cucumbers. I got it from the Amish store this weekend, and I got a lot of cucumbers, so I'll be doing a lot. Hi, Ross. I have a Power Quick pot with a canning feature. Wondering if it works. I did just purchase a Presto canner. Gee, Mama, I'll be right back. Okay. So this is what I have. It's dusty. This was my very first pressure canner. Power pressure canner XL. And if you look at it, it says canning / preserving. Right there. Right here. So I've had this for years and years and years and years and years. And this is actually what I was talking about. That's what I had. And just based off of that, I thought I was okay to can in it. And what stopped me from canning in it you can't even get the jar in there and close it if you're doing a quart. Otherwise, I would have put those spaghetti jars in there thinking it was okay. And I would have hit that button thinking it was okay. And I would have canned in it thinking it was okay. The Lord blessed me because you cannot put the top on with this jar in here. It wouldn't close. And I was like, well, what's that all about? So I started reading more into it. And I found out that that's actually a false claim by Power XL, and they cannot can in it. It does not allow adjustments for your sea level. It does not allow adjustments for what you're canning. You know, I should just press the button and see what happens. I've never even hit the button. I know you can change the time on there, so maybe that's how they got around the time in which you're canning, but it doesn't add pressure. Therefore, you're just boiling that. That's fine if you just want to water bath can it. Just, you know, do something in there. But no, you cannot pressure can in there. Yes, won't he do it? Okay, I was ready. I remember it was a Saturday. I was like, I can't even use this. So then we had to go out to the store and buy the water bath canners because I didn't know anything about a pressure canner. And then I'm reading it and I'm like, citric acid. I got to add citric acid to this. I got to go back to the store. A mess. A mess. So won't he do it? Figured it out. We all good. Lisa, do you sell DVDs? Wow, bless you. And thank you for answering my question. I don't sell DVDs. I'm here for you on the YouTube. I have a canning playlist. I am going to try to expand and start canning more things that I don't can. I feel like I can the same things over and over again because that's what we like. But I know there are a wide variety of canning recipes. So if you're ever interested about a particular recipe, I don't mind researching it. I don't mind canning it up. I actually enjoy doing it. So we can do it right here on YouTube, Lisa. And we could always do, you know, like these lives and chat and everything. Or if you're comfortable, even come up with me and we can live chat and talk about that. Michael says, I am not new to canning, but I am just the assistant when it comes to canning. The missus is in charge of her canner, but I want to learn. My mister is not a canner either. He made etouffee yesterday and had so much left over after he canned it. Or after he made it, and he asked me if he could can it. And I said, what do you think? And he kind of thought about it, and he was like, no, you can't can it. I said, no. I said, what do you have in it? Did you make a roux? He said, yes. That's a thickener. I said, did you put butter in it? He was like, yeah, I put a lot of butter in it. It's a fat, and it's a dairy. You can't can those. So he's not allowed to can because I feel like he would just be doing, he was a chef. So I feel like he would just be doing all types of stuff with the end result being taste. Whereas my end result is preservation. We can doctor it up once we open it. We can add a roux and we can add the butter and the cream and stuff once we open it. I want it to preserve. So we both have different end results, and he's not allowed in my canning kitchen unless I'm just having him taste to see if I need more spices or something. Oh my goodness, I'm happy I got the presto. Thanks, sweetie. You are welcome. What about chicken and noodles? So I will be canning chicken soup on Friday. Rise, if you're able to join in on Friday, and I'll make sure I'll send you the link. But I'll be canning chicken soup. You can can chicken soup. I've canned chicken soup. You cannot safely can noodles, rice, pastas. You can't can them. You can't safely can them. There is no proven recipe to ensure that the temperature is going to be enough to safely penetrate that rice, noodle, or whatever it is to kill off the botulism, which is fine. It might be gummy or something like that. That's fine. I don't need to can the noodle, but I will can the base. I will can the chicken soup, which I have, and then add my noodles to it once I opened up the jar, which I have, and it comes out great. So I'll be canning that up on to Friday. I have so much to learn about canning. I feel like once you get the basics, you know what can be water bath canned, what can be pressure canned, and you know what cannot be canned. You can kind of go off of there. And there's even times where I'm watching a recipe and I'm like, I can do that. And then they'll do something off the wall. Why you go and mess it up? Why you put that vegetable oil in there? But when you know those basics, you just know. You just know. But I think anybody can get it. It's not nerve-wracking. Follow your approved books. Ball. Now, even Ball has said books that have been copyrighted before 2017 are not up to standard. So after 2017, you should be good. So I use Ball a lot, but because I know my basics, I will alter the recipe a little bit. Like I know peppers. I can substitute a green pepper for a red pepper, or a habanero pepper for a green pepper. I know that peppers are okay. So the recipe might be mild with just one green pepper. I'm going to throw in some spicy peppers up to that same weight, because it's usually by weight or like by a cup or something like that. So I got some wiggle room there. I know that the recipe calls for fresh tomatoes. I can use ketchup like I do for my barbecue sauce, or I can use canned tomatoes, as long as what I'm using doesn't have any thickeners in it. It doesn't have any of those no-nos that you can't can with. So no, just knowing your basics, knowing what you can and what you can't is going to be extremely helpful. Not oil. Yes. Oil. You can't can oil. Now you can like a little bit, like if I'm sauteing some vegetables for my spaghetti and I like a garden heavy pasta sauce, I'm gonna saute it in a little bit of oil. I'm not going to use butter. As much as I would want to use butter, I'm not going to use butter, but I would use a little bit of oil. However, I do put a little bit of butter in my jams and jellies to help with the foam, but I'm following the recipe in that sense. Okay, I will have to invest in what you have to sell. You know I'm always here for you, Rise. Love me some Rise. But yeah, the chicken soup, actually, I will be doubling the chicken soup recipe. So in the video notification that I have posted for the chicken soup, that recipe is for one batch. I will be doubling it because I felt like in the past it's only given me like 2 or 3 jars. I want a bunch. So if anyone is interested in canning with me that chicken soup, just know that I'm going to be doubling that recipe. Bless you and thank you again for answering my questions. That is truly precious canning. I can't wait for my family. Thank you. Thank you. And I really enjoy, if you can't tell, I really enjoy canning and preserving, any type of preserving. I got this cute jar at the store. I can't use it for any type of canning or preserving, but I just like this little wooden lid. I can't put my SCOBY in it. I don't know, put beans or sugar or something in it, but it's just cute. It's $5, so I thought it wasn't that bad. But I am all about preserving. I have a fermentation kit that came in the mail the other day. Fermentation is a method of preserving. And actually it came in the mail about a month ago. And my husband asked how come I hadn't opened it yet. And I told him, because I'm not ready to ferment. I'm not ready. I have a SCOBY in the cabinet back there. And I'm going to do my kombucha first, which is fermented, but it's different. I'm going to do my kombucha first. And then I want to try my hand at some sauerkraut. Real sauerkraut. I've made it before. It didn't come out right. So real sauerkraut. And then over here, I have a case of peaches. So you'll probably see a couple more peach recipes come out in the next couple of weeks. I got to use some peaches some kind of way. You guys, we're almost done. It is 2:58, and we just have to 3:05. So that time has flown by. And you hear how loud it is. I feel like I'm yelling, but you hear how loud it is. So that allows me to actually go and do other things in my house. My bedroom is on the opposite side of the house, but I can sit in my bedroom with the TV on and I can hear it rocking. It's not so loud that it's upsetting. It's just something that I can hear in the background. So that allows you to get up. I know I've heard people say, well, they don't like the pressure can because they got to sit in their kitchen the whole time. If you have a dial gauge, yeah, because you need to make sure that the dial is staying in between your PSI. But if you have a weighted one, you can hear it. Hey, Gina. Are you at work? Thanks for joining us from work. We got some green beans in there, and we're looking at about another 5 minutes. Yes, sauerkraut. I feel like we buy so much store-bought sauerkraut, and I'm picky about which brands I like. So if I can learn to make it and make it right, I'm all down for that. And you can can sauerkraut. Can't can cabbage, but once it's been fermented and it gets to that texture, that taste that you like, you can that. What size is my pressure canner? I don't know. Oh, I want to say like 16 quarts. I'm going to look and see if I have the instructions since I'm just sitting here. You know, we all have that drawer where we put all the instruction manual. Yeah, I think it is a 16 quarts, and I'm not positive. Found it. Presto, pressure canner and cooker. It don't even say on here. It's not the smallest. I believe there is a a 12 quart. That's why I think this is a 16. But I have no idea. And it's got little recipes in the back. So I've never paid attention to, honestly. One thing with your pressure canner, you want to check your ring, your seal often. You don't want it to be too hard where it can crack. You don't want to oil it though like you would regular pressure canners. Okay, that's what I saw, 16. What are you talking about, canning sauerkraut? I am down for that. Yes, you can can sauerkraut. Does the weight come with the pressure? It comes with it. Bye, Coach. Thanks for joining. So I believe all mine came with was the bottom part, the top part, and the weight. And like I said, it even came with 3 of the weights to get up to 15 pounds, but I don't know what I did with it. And it also comes with a rack inside. Bottom, top, rack, and then there's the weight down there. And that's all she wrote. I don't feel like I had to put it together. There was nothing to put together. It was good to go. But you do want to kind of check your seal regularly. The vent, make sure that nothing has clogged that. So you want to look through it or even blow into it. If you can get air through it or you can see through it, it's good to go. I've always said I was going to do this, but I haven't yet. But I've always said that I was going to purchase an extra seal just in case if one fails. And I am in the middle of a big canning project. That way I can just swap it out and keep on going. So that's something you might want to keep in mind too. But like I said, I've had it at least 5 years. Okay, 5 years. And I use it, and I don't just use it in the fall. I can year round. Very rarely do I can anything from my garden. I always just purchase stuff. So I can year round. So you can see how well it's been used and how good it holds up. Made another batch of peach salsa and added more peppers this time. Weird. How'd it come out? I need to just make regular salsa. They're giving me dirty looks around here. Peach salsa wasn't enough. They want regular salsa. So I had to make them some regular salsa. Ooh. Okay. Time's up. I turned it off. My stove is electric, so I need to move it from this heat. All right. And we are going to wait for this to come down. And then we can open it. But what it's doing right now is the pressure is going to release naturally. Do you put anything in the water for your jars? I've heard of people using vinegar or tartar to keep from having a film on the glasses or something. Yes, I do. I've never used tartar. And when I went to the class, is it tartar or is it tartar? I don't know. Dryer just went off. Hi, Homestead in the Hood. But when I was at the class that I went to, she had an All-American canner, and we were using that. Well, one of the jars had like fallen over. Something happened, and she was all upset that her beautiful All-American was looking rusty like mine. But she got like some tartar and cleaned it up with that, and it made it shine. What I do is I just put a little bit of vinegar. So usually I have a little cup where I dip my towel into and wipe around my jars. I just take the rest of that vinegar and put it in the water. If you have hard water, it will sometimes, it's done it with me. I just don't have any examples right now, but it will sometimes leave a little film around your jars. It doesn't do anything. It's just not visually appealing, but just look a little ashy sometimes. But if I can remember, I will put vinegar in there. No, I don't have any jars. What you said, tartar. I've only water bath Kanji, Mama, but I don't add anything to my water. You got that good water. So good. I needed more spice, making regular salsa next. Okay. I just always use that Mrs. Wages. I don't add, I guess I spoiled because that was what I started using. And I just don't add any spice to it. I just throw that in there and good enough. So it's still kind of rocking a little bit. You can still hear it. So there's still plenty of pressure in there. Right now, you're just letting that pressure come down naturally. You're letting that temperature of the water, the temperature of what's inside, start to naturally fall. That way, when you open it up, you just don't have like temperature shock. And like I said, when I first started doing it, I was just doing all kinds of stuff. So the canner won't even let you open it. I couldn't even try to open it if I wanted to. But once that little nipple thingy falls, I used to just open that up and get ready for my next load. You can't do that because you could have what is called siphoning. I get that a lot because I'm impatient. So you see how the water level is down here, but I know that these got filled to 1 inch up here. So what happened? It could have been I didn't release all the air bubbles good enough, or it could be that I yanked this bad boy out and the water, it kind of came out. And you can kind of see it if your jar's a little, got some water down in there on the side or something, but that's called siphoning. So you do want to let it release. This doesn't look as bad, but like I said, I know that I had it up here to 1 inch. And I guess that's just one thing I need to work on is being patient. I'm still here. Audio. So can you hear me? I'm gonna try to get back in on the big thingy. My God. Yep, you can hear. Sweet. So I apologize. We upgraded our internet, found out. Kept getting overcharged for the month of June. I was charged almost double because we went over our gigabyte, whatever it's called. So found out that we were actually on the lowest plan, so we upgraded to unlimited gigabyte, but they have to send us a new modem. So although we have Wi-Fi working in the house, it's not operating the way it should until we get the new modem. It's supposed to be here tomorrow, so thank you for bearing with me. I am trying to log into the laptop, but right now I'm still just waiting on all that to calm down, let that pressure release. Okay, much better. I'm gonna restart this completely. And I can still see the chat a little bit if anybody has any questions. I just heard the dogs wake up. Both of them at the same time. They're like, it's 3:30. You usually get home about 5 o'clock. Where the food? These internet providers robbing us. There's no reason everyone isn't on unlimited. I would have sworn we were on unlimited until I actually looked at it. We has just been like auto pay, so I never paid it any attention until I looked at it. I was like, dang, right. I'm so into learning that I totally forgot to greet. Angela was like, I'm here to learn. That's how I am in school though. When I was taking like my college classes, because I am actually a certified professional medical coder. Um, but I was going to school after work and everything. And I was like, I'm not here to chit chat. I'm here to learn, get my certification, and go home. You don't need my Facebook. All right, I am still trying to get in. You might have to switch devices because StreamYard will not let me in. Well, let me see if it's StreamYard or my internet. Can I get on Google? Looks like it's letting me on Google, but it's not letting me back in StreamYard. I'm with you, Angela. She says, I know I'm an introvert, so it's so easy for me. Me too. Me too. Like this coming live is work. And if you ever notice, sometimes I'll drift off and I'll just be like, in my own little world. I'm like, oh, wait, I got to socialize. I got to talk to you. I am such an introvert. And if Roz is still here, she'll tell you. I'm like, I don't want to go to family. I don't want to go to the family reunion. Y'all get 10 minutes out of me, then I got to go home and rest. Y'all stress me out. I don't know where I get it from, but I'm such an introvert. And I was that way before COVID. And it ain't helped none. Because now I'm like, I don't have to go to the grocery store. That part. All right. I can try one other thing. I'll be right back. So I'm going to try to switch devices, see if it's my internet or if it's something else. Because it's working fine on my laptop, I don't think it's stream. Get on my nerves. There it go, working right there. You just had to threaten it, I guess. So true. Bless her heart. Better? Can you hear me? All right, so I think we are good to go. I'm listening to the canner going, and I can still kind of, I still kind of hear the water boiling in it, but it is definitely slowed down. I still hear a little bit of steam coming out the top, but we're almost done. Roz says she understands. Roz is an extrovert. I will take Roz to the store and she will chit chat with strangers as I'm walking away from the both of them. I feel like my entire family is like that. So here's soon the little nipple thingy. I don't know what it's called. I've got the book right here. Let's look it up. I'm sure it don't say anything about a nipple in this book. Gasket. It says the air vent / cover locking basket. It's called a gasket. So we'll call it the locking gasket. When that falls, let me see if I can take you in closer. When that falls, that means that the pressure has come down enough to where you can open it. Although you can open it, you don't necessarily have to open it. You can continue to let it cool, or you can do like 5-minute increments. Take your little knob off the top, wait 5 minutes. take the top of your canner off and slightly sit in a jar for 5 minutes. Do it that way. That way, all that cool air doesn't just rush into your canner because it's so hot in there. It just came off at 240 degrees and it's like 65 in this house right now. Angela says it's a struggle. It's a struggle, but I'm learning to embrace it. I've tried to understand how people do that, talk to people they don't know. I don't. I usually have like a little circle. And then anything outside of that. And I feel like small talk is a big challenge for me. If I'm on a specific topic, I can talk about that. But small talk, I don't want to chit chat. Let's talk about what we came here to talk about. So, not quite, but let's see. It's been live for an hour and 22 minutes. And I didn't just hop into starting the green beans. So I know I didn't wait 20 minutes. I probably waited about 5-10 minutes before we actually got started. But I mean, in total, like I said, you don't have to just sit here and wait for that to happen. Wait for that little knob thingamajig, gasket, bracket to fall. You can still do other stuff around the house. If you're canning another project or something like that, you can start to get those ready. Sometimes I wish I did have a second canner, and that way, like now, while I'm waiting for that, I can be, gearing up my second canner. All those things are nipple. I don't know. I heard somebody say that once. But all those things could be ready to go, and that can just help, me do my loads a lot faster because I'm all about canning 30 or something in one night. Just sometimes you click with people. Not always the case, though. So true. So true. I hate small talk. It's awkward. It's so awkward. I don't have a problem with, they call it the awkward silence. I don't have a problem with that. That's silence. That's golden in my book. Right, Tia, the nipple. Thingamajig. Love it. But that's green beans, guys. We can green beans. Sounds about right to me too. But if you have never canned before, I just wanted to show you how easy this can be. If you've never pressure canned before, how easy this can be. And so many of us are gardeners. It's just, go out there, fill up a jar and can it. How can you can it? How can you preserve it? Let him hit with the ta-da. I was hoping it would and then I could be like, ta-da. But just how easy it is to can in that amount of time. Like I said, you're not just sitting here just waiting, but you're doing other stuff if it's just stuff around the house. And I will say, I don't like to cook while I'm canning. I don't know if it's because I'm so focused on making sure I get all my steps right that I don't have time to look at anything else, or I'm taking up so much space on the counter. I don't know what it is, but if I'm cooking, I don't like to can. And sometimes I will purposely can so I know we can order out dinner. Have a wonderful afternoon. I'm still going to wait for the thing back there to fall if anyone wants to stay on. But if you have to go, please don't even worry about me. I'm good. But if you have to go, thank you so much for watching and staying on all this time. Yeah, you can do so much more. You can even do, like, let's say if you were canning green beans and corn at the same time, not in the plot thickens. Yes. Not in the same jar, because if you're canning them in the same jar, you would have to can to whichever one has the longest amount of time. But if you were canning green beans and corn in different jars, you would still need to can to the longest amount of time. You're not going to open up that canner at 25 minutes because you still have your corn. And if you open up that canner and that pressure goes down and your corn hasn't finished processing, you can't just add on the difference in that time. You need to completely start back over. So you can have a canner with different things in them. Don't think that you have to, don't think that you can only have to can one thing at a time. You can can multiple things. Just be mindful of your times and how they may vary, and maybe, plot out. You don't want something that's 25 minutes with something that's 60 minutes. If you can get something that's 25 minutes for a quart, ta-da! There it goes. But if you can get something that's 25 minutes for a quart and maybe 20 minutes for a pint, then that's not that big of a time difference. Go ahead and do it all at the same time if you want. Can you overprocess something? You can. Really, all it's going to do is it could hurt with the quality of the food. So I'm trying to think of something like tomato sauce. I will pressure can my tomato sauce because I'm using a lot of veggies. Ta-da! And you don't want to, process that. I don't think that's a good example because I put mushrooms in my tomato sauce and I processed that for like 80 minutes. And the plunger fell. It did. But I've never felt like my tomato sauce or whatever, the veggies that were in there, were mushy or off or anything. So I know they say you can overprocess, but I've never run into it where I've been like, yeah, I can definitely tell I overprocessed it. So either I can't tell the difference or I don't know. So I took my weight off. And there's no more steam coming out. I locked it. I'm not sure if you can hear that whistle, but it's hot in there. So I'm just going to let this sit for about 5 minutes before I take them completely out. Just kind of let it cool down in there. And I can hear it. It's like, I want to see it so bad though. But patience. Be patient. But so I'll keep you guys about another 5 minutes while we wait to take that out. But before we go, anyone else have any questions or anything? And remember that tomorrow I'm going live again and I'm going to be canning up some pickles. I've got a bushel, a bunch. I got a bag from the Amish place, and they're so cute. There's cute little cucumber thingies. Okay, please, on another note, what day and time is the crocheting? We do it every Thursday. So this coming up Thursday, which will be the 27th. Is that right? Nope, the 28th. And it's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm planning on doing at least 25 to 30 pints of pasta sauce. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Do so much. Well, you ain't got to do no more the rest of the year unless you want to. Unless you want to maybe jazz it up or something. But you don't have to do any more. Now, Gina, for us, the pasta sauce and the vegetable broth seems to go the fastest. I did 14 quarts, which would be 28 pints. I did 14 quarts. I don't know. Maybe in March. I did a video. Maybe in March I did it. It's gone. It's gone. We ain't got no more pasta sauce. I got to do some more. Can you stack jars? Can you stack jars in the canner? Not my particular canner. It's just not tall enough. But yes, there are some canners that are taller that will allow you to stack them. You just put a rack in between. That's like that All-American. You can stack in there. I want it, but I don't want it. It's expensive. I don't have enough room where the microwave is. And it's heavy, which then I worry about the glass top on there. Is it too heavy for the glass top? But it's nice. It's nice. And you can stack quarts in an All-American. Of all of you, who cans and what do you can? Good question, Roz. I'll let you guys answer, Roz. Rosalind. Roz, Gina says she's done pasta sauce, salsa, and jelly so far. It's really expensive. It is. I can get a couple of purses and wallets and my hairnet and some shoes for that bad boy. Gina, I'm starting on my kombucha this week. I don't know. Today, tomorrow. One day, I got everything I need. I just got to brew me some tea. And I'm ready. I'm ready. I need a GoFundMe for it. Chine Moss Farm says beans, jelly, and soup. What kind of soup do you can? Chine Moss. I started mine Friday. Ooh. Take them out. These are super hot and still bubbling. See that water difference? Now this bad boy. It's bubbling. Now you don't have to do this, but because it's so cool in the house, we've got the air running. I am going to just put a top on it just to kind of prevent a breeze coming through. You can see. So I just put a little towel over them. You don't have to. I don't do this often, but like I said, it's so cool with the air conditioner running. And these were so hot. I just don't want any shock going on. Ta-da! We canned green beans. Vegetable soup and chicken soup. Vegetable soup. That's another favorite, and that's one that I will can. I'll try to get at least 20 quarts. And if I can get a canner load of pints, I'm all good. But vegetable soup and beef stew, which is the same thing, just add the beef. That's one that we do a lot. And the chicken soup, like I said, the last time I did it, it only gave me a couple of jars. So I will do it again. I'm interested in doing it again. That way we can have more than about 3 or 4 jars because it was really good. Homestead in the Hood says not going canning. Michael says we can potatoes, corn, green beans, purple hull peas, okra, peppers, pickles, salsa, carrots. Come on, Mike. That's what I'm talking about. Okra is my favorite vegetable to can. My husband loves the canned okra. Loves it. Michael, I'm interested in canning potatoes. I'm worried about them getting mushy. Michael, I need your advice on this as well. I've canned potatoes and I just feel like the starch, there's so much starch in the water. And as it sits on the shelf longer, it's just more starch. And when you take it out, I don't like it. How do you prevent that starch? And I've done it where I followed the instructions in the book, and I believe it had you like pre-cook the potatoes, switch out the water, and you're giving it like fresh water like you're doing with the beans and everything. But that's just something that I haven't canned since because it's just so starchy. I'm waiting on Michael to give us some tips on these potatoes. And now I have a little bit of a delay on StreamYard. We soak them and wash them 2 to 3 times. So here in the book, it just says wash potatoes and drain, peel and wash again, leave small potatoes whole and cut large potatoes into quarters or small uniform cubes, placing in stainless steel pot of cold water as you chop to prevent browning, and then you just hot pack them. So that's what I've done, but like I said, they've just always been mushy. Yes. What type of potatoes are best? Michael's like, I'm not coming here to tell y'all all my wife's secrets. Wait a couple more minutes. Ron says she likes pinto and black beans. I don't like black beans. I feel like of them all, black beans are the starchiest. There's a difference. In my head, there's a difference, and it makes sense to me. So I don't like black beans. But I love pinto beans and red beans. And we're going to be canning up some red beans this coming up Saturday. And I've canned up red beans, and like ground some sausage and peppers in there before. That way we can always have red beans and rice when we want to. So I think I might do that again. I love black beans. I don't like them because I feel like they're more starchy in my head. Gina says, we need to know, Michael. Thank you all for sharing. It is a very good thing in canning. Thank you, Roz. Okay, I'm going to turn this one off. All right. And I'm off for the week, guys. Mimi, did you notice it's quiet? How quiet and like mellow it is compared to a weekend? Mister's on the road, so he won't be back until Friday. And Mimi is at work. This is how I like my house. Just me and the dogs. I have red, black, and pinto beans I need to can. Gina, I usually just buy a bunch of dried ones, and then I get the quart jars, or even if I get the half-gallon jars, or if I can find the gallon ones, and I just put all my beans in there. Not together, but like we always got beans. And I think we only have red and pinto. We might have northern, but we don't make those as much. So, but I love me some red beans. Okay, well, I think Mike left, or either his wife was like, look, now don't be getting on there telling all my secrets about my potato. Oh, there we go. We typically can our red potatoes. Mike, do you have a YouTube channel? And they can get soft compared to a harder type, such as the Yukon or baking type. Okay. I've seen people can the reds, though. I do love some red potatoes with the skin on. Some mashed red potatoes with the skin on. So good. Yeah, Mike, seems like you and your wife do a lot. Do you guys have a channel that we can tune into? Yes, we have a channel, but nothing there but me playing the guitar. Well, you could be playing the guitar and she can be canning. And we can watch the two of you. Mike, I'll hop over there and see if I could check out your channel. But I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around, staying with me. Again, tomorrow I will be canning pickles. On Wednesday, I'm doing corn, very much the same way as the green beans. Yes, dinner and music. Exactly. She is extremely introvert too. That's my kind of girl. On Thursday, I'm doing marmalades. Friday, I'm doing the chicken soup. And Saturday, I'm doing the beans. And like I said, I might do the red beans and sausage. So just see. But thank you for joining in and watching. I've had a great time with you guys. Bye-bye.